What if the most powerful financial advice you'll ever hear wasn't cooked up on Wall Street, but was written down almost a century ago in a collection of simple stories? In 1926, a little book called The Richest Man in Babylon was published. It wasn't full of complex charts or market predictions. Instead, it told parables set in the ancient world's most powerful city, Babylon. These stories contained a kind of lost wisdom about money that felt both ancient and shockingly relevant. Today we're drowning in data, glued to trading apps, and torn between fear and greed. We've forgotten the simple, powerful laws that this book laid out. What if the keys to financial freedom weren't in an algorithm, but in these timeless fables? These aren't just tips. They're the foundational rules of prosperity. The book takes us to ancient Babylon, a city that legend says rose from the desert to become fabulously wealthy. The hero of these stories isn't a king or a warrior, but a man named Arcad. He's a fictional character, a humble scribe who supposedly became the richest man in the city by following a few simple principles. In the book's central tale, the king of Babylon sees that wealth is concentrated in the hands of a few, while the masses struggle. Instead of just seizing the gold, he asks Arcad to teach everyone the secrets to building their own wealth. These lessons were called the 7 Cures for a Lean Purse, a step-by-step guide to turn an empty wallet into a fat one. And even though they're wrapped in a 4,000-year-old setting, these rules offer a crystal-clear path for any modern investor. The first and most important rule is deceptively simple. A part of all you earn is yours to keep. For every 10 coins you earn, you should only spend 9. This is the bedrock principle we now call paying yourself first, and it's where all wealth begins. Most people get this completely backward. They get paid, then they pay the landlord, the grocery store, the credit card companies, and they hope to save whatever is left over. But that almost never works, does it? The book's wisdom insists that your savings is the most important, non-negotiable bill you have. Before anyone else gets a dime, at least 10% of every dollar that comes your way belongs to your future self. This isn't just about hoarding money, it's a mindset shift. It's you declaring that your financial future is a priority. In the story, Arcad started as a poor scribe. He committed to this rule, putting aside 1/10 of his tiny earnings, no matter what. At first, the amount was laughably small, but he quickly realized he could live just fine on the remaining 90%. And over time, as his savings grew, so did a sense of security and satisfaction he'd never known. For us, this is the easiest rule to follow. Automate a 10% transfer from every paycheck into a separate investment account. By making it automatic, you take willpower completely out of the equation. This one simple act is the seed from which your oak tree of wealth will grow. Once you start paying yourself first, the next rule snaps right into place. Control your spending. Arcad warned his students, what each of us calls our necessary expenses will always grow to equal our incomes unless we protest to the contrary. He basically diagnosed lifestyle inflation nearly a century before we had a trendy name for it. As our income goes up, our wants tend to go up right alongside it, swallowing any chance we have of getting ahead. The cure is a budget. But this isn't about pinching every penny until it screams. It's about making conscious choices. It forces you to ask the hard question, is this a true necessity or just a desire in disguise? So many things we think we need are just wants we've gotten used to. By tracking where your money goes, you spot the leaks, those small, thoughtless purchases that drain your funds without adding any real value to your life. The goal is to live comfortably on that 90% you have left over. This doesn't mean you can't have nice things. In fact, the book encourages enjoying life. The key is to do it without sabotaging your savings plan. Today, budgeting apps can track every dollar for you, but the principle is unchanged. It's about being the master of your money, not its slave. Saving money is the foundation, but savings alone won't make you wealthy. Arcad taught that every dollar you save should be treated like a little employee sent out to work for you. Money just sitting in a bank account is unemployed. Worse, with inflation, it's actually losing value every single day. This is the ancient law of investing. The story says that your saved money must be put to work. For the characters in the book, this meant lending silver to merchants for trading voyages. For us, it means putting our savings into assets that grow, like stocks, bonds, or real estate. This is where the magic of compounding kicks in. Each dollar your employee earns can be reinvested, and soon that return starts earning its own return. Your employees start having children and grandchildren, creating an entire dynasty of income that works for you 24/7. As the saying goes, someone is sitting in the shade today because someone planted a tree a long time ago. Your investments are those trees. The sooner you plant them, the more shade you'll have in the future. As your wealth grows, it's going to attract attention, both good and bad. The fourth cure is one of the most important for any investor. Protect your capital. Arcad warned, the penalty of risk is probable loss. Before you hand over your money for any investment, your first job is to make sure your original investment is safe. The book is full of cautionary tales. One man gives his savings to a brickmaker who promises to buy rare jewels, only to find out the jewels were just worthless pieces of glass. The lesson is crystal clear. Don't invest in things you don't understand, and don't trust your money to people who aren't experts. This perfectly mirrors Warren Buffett's famous rule. Rule number 1, never lose money. Rule number 2, never forget rule number 1. The siren song of getting rich quick is a dangerous trap. The book shuns get-rich-quick schemes, showing that slow, steady, and reasonable returns are always better than high-risk gambles that could send you back to zero. The fifth piece of advice? Own your own home. Arcad argued that paying rent to a landlord year after year means you have nothing to show for it in the end. But when you make a mortgage payment, you're building equity in an asset. Every payment is a kind of forced savings, turning your biggest expense into an investment. In the stories, owning a home gave a person confidence and a sense of pride. Today, the rent versus buy debate is a little more complicated, but the core wisdom holds true. For many, owning a home can be a powerful tool for building long-term wealth. It converts what is often your largest monthly bill into an asset that has the potential to grow in value over time. Wealth isn't just about having money today. It's about making sure you have an income for the rest of your life, especially when you're too old to work. The sixth cure is to plan for retirement. The characters in the book did this by making long-term investments that would provide a steady stream of passive income. This is simply the 1926 version of retirement planning. It's about accepting the fact that our ability to work for a paycheck won't last forever. That means you have to create income streams that don't depend on your time and labor. This could be a portfolio of dividend stocks, rental properties, or other long-term assets that pay you. Modern tools like retirement accounts and insurance policies serve the exact same purpose. You're planting seeds today to make sure you have a harvest to enjoy tomorrow. The final cure brings everything full circle. Continuously invest in yourself. While the other rules focus on managing the money you have, this one is about expanding your ability to make more of it. As Arcad taught, the more wisdom we know, the more we may earn. Your personal growth is the engine of your financial growth. This means you should never stop learning. Cultivate your skills, study your craft, and become more valuable in the marketplace. In the stories, a skilled artisan could command a much higher price for his work than an unskilled laborer. The principle is identical today. Whether it's by learning a new skill, getting another degree, or starting a side hustle, you can dramatically increase your income. Unlike a job, which has a salary cap, there is no limit to your ability to earn. The best investment you can possibly make is in yourself. These 7 cures, drawn from the parables in The Richest Man in Babylon, are a complete system for financial success that is as powerful today as it was when the book was first written. They represent the kind of fundamental wisdom praised by modern investors like Warren Buffett and countless others. Let's put it all together. 1. Pay yourself first, because wealth starts with what you keep. 2. Live below your means, because discipline is your best friend. 3. Make your money work for you, because every dollar should be an employee. 4. Protect your capital at all costs. 5. Turn your biggest expense into an asset. 6. Plan for the future, because it will be here sooner than you think. And 7. Always invest in yourself, because you are your greatest asset. These principles are universal. They are the simple, unchanging truths about money, wrapped in timeless stories. They can work for you right now. Which of these 7 lessons hits home the most for you? Let us know in the comments. And if you want more timeless wisdom for building a life of freedom and purpose, be sure to like and subscribe. The journey to wealth isn't a sprint. It's a marathon built on proven ideas. Start this week. Put aside that first 10% and start your journey.